video, we are going to make some pre-felt. Sometimes I wake up and I have an idea for a project. I want to make a felted bag and I want to put a pre-felt picture on my project, but I don't have any pre-felt ready, so I never make any pre-felt pictures. You can cut out so many different shapes and put them on your felt and it'll look like a felt picture, and it's just quite wonderful. I am going to just make my pre-felt. I'm going to make it super fast. I'm going to make it so that it's done and over with, so that it's ready and I have lots of pre-felt to work with for the next 30 days. The reason why I want to make so much pre-felt is because I'm planning to do a pre-felt challenge where I make 30 pre-felt pictures in 30 days. I want to see what the beginning pre-felt picture looks like to the last pre-felt picture to see if I've improved at all. I can imagine that I'm going to get bored and I'm going to begin adding other elements to my pre-felt pictures, and so I just want to see what the results might be and see if I can improve my design skills. So let's get to it. Let's begin making our fast pre-felt. So I have chosen about 34 colors from my stash. This is my stash. Definitely needs to be organized. And so I have them ready to go for the video. Just going to begin laying out my pre-felt. I'm going to put 6 different colors on this sheet here. I'm just going to grab any random colors and I'm going to start laying out some squares. And I'm only going to do 2 layers. Personally, for me, I enjoy making and felting pre-felt pictures if the shapes are quite large in size or medium and nothing too small. I also just like the look of these bold minimalistic designs. I haven't yet quite figured out how to cut out the shapes exactly how I want in the pre-felt unless I take my time and I create a design on my computer in some illustration software, or I grab it from Google and I just print it out and then cut it out and then place it on the pre-felt once it's completed and then draw around it and then cut it out. So something that is similar to pre-felt, if you don't want to bother with pre-felt, is you can buy some silk fabric and cut shapes out of the silk and place it on your felt project. It has a similar look to the pre-felt. You can also create very defined felt pictures using the silk. This is a sample of a felted quilt, and I will make this felt quilt and another variation of a quilt style that I love in another video. But this is just a quick sample of some cutout shapes. Obviously it's super easy, just some squares, but you can cut other shapes and put them on your felt, and that also makes a lovely hardline picture. If you find your pre-felt is sticking to your shirt, you can simply just give it a spray now. And I will dry my hands, otherwise my next piece of fiber is going to stick to my hands. So once we've laid out our approximately 6 pieces, or however large you want to make your bubble wrap, make sure it's nice and wet so you don't have to check it again. Add some soap, another bubble wrap on top, so you just want to not press too hard, but you want to push the water around, especially where it's congregating, and so you want to move it kind of to the areas that are still dry. If you do want to check your fiber to see if it's wet, you can just pull up the bubble wrap and have a look, and so mine's pretty good. There's no dry spots and there's no bubbles anywhere, so it looks good to me. And so next I'm going to lay out another set of fiber. So I'm going to add another layer to this, so we'll have 3 layers. So now I'm spraying down my third layer, and this is going to be my last one. Okay, so now I have 3 layers and they're completely wet, and I have another piece of bubble wrap on top, bubble side down, and I'm going to begin rolling up the project and starting to felt the project. So I'm going to use my large pool noodle, which I had originally cut in half, and I needed a big one, so I taped it in the middle, but you can just use a normal pool noodle or a wooden dowel. So as I roll it, I'm going to rub my hands across the entire project. And then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to just felt the entire thing like I would make a piece of felt in the How to Make a Piece of Felt tutorial. So I'm rolling the project on all 4 sides, and I'm doing about 40 rolls on each side. Normally, if it was a smaller piece of felt where I'm just making one piece of pre-felt, then I'm going to roll it a little bit less, but because there's extra layers inside and I need to rub my hands across the whole project, I'm going to roll it a little bit more than I normally would. So that has completed round 1, and so I'm going to roll it another time because I know it hasn't felted yet. You can flip your project as well and just get the crinkles out of the other side. So I have now rolled my project 2 times, 40 times on each side, and I'm just going to check it. I'm also going to check the middle piece. So the fibers have attached together, but I think because there are 3 layers, it hasn't completely made a pre-felt how I want it to, and so I'm going to roll it one more time and then check it again. So now I have rolled my pre-felt 3 times, so that's 3 rounds, and I'm definitely not going to risk it and do another round. I haven't checked it, but I do feel like at this point when I'm felting something, it is getting closer to the point of actually becoming felt. Definitely still kind of coming off. It's going to stick as flat felt, and it's quite thin, so it should be fine, depending on how hard you're applying pressure. But you may have to play around with it for the first time and just see how you go. I did these pieces in 3 rounds and they worked perfectly fine. So I'm going to cut my pieces out. They're already on the bubble wrap where it's the smooth side, and so it's going to be easy to cut. So because this piece is still on the bubble side, I'm just going to take my bubble wrap off and flip it around. Flip it over, and now it's on the smooth side and I can cut it more easily. So I'm going to take my wet pre-felt and I'm going to put them inside the towel to give them a dry. I'm going to take them apart so that there's a little bit air in between each piece so they dry. Now we have many pre-felt pieces to work with, and it wasn't so bad. It didn't take that long to do, and now it's all done, so I feel happy about this. I feel ready for my pre-felt challenge, and so if you like this video, please press like and subscribe. Check out that next video where I begin making my pre-felt pictures. Thank you for watching. Join me